Hello, dear traveler. Welcome to a train ride around Mont Blanc, highest mountain in Europe, 4,805 or 10 meters above sea level. Depends where you're looking. So I made it to the carriage. It doesn't have any other specific. Look at the view behind me. It's just stunning. But the funny thing is that it's not funny. It's just the real thing is that one thing I realized on all of these travels is I can be to as beautiful, as magnificent, as however crazy, in a positive way place. And it doesn't, that place doesn't make my mood. It can affect it. But what I have in my head, it's very often projected on the place, and it's very often much stronger force. So even very beautiful place can become a hellhole. I don't know if you have any experiences like that in life, but I have many of them. So one thing I really learned about myself, that I take I project the world, my inner world onto the outer world, and the places I visit, they will always reflect my inner feelings. And it's same here. It is magnificent, beautiful, but today I feel a little bit, kind of a little bit unfocused, a little bit tired, a little bit like, I don't know if that describes it for you, but maybe you can relate. And that's okay. That's just another thing to, as I'm going through all of these emotional states, I am really learning and trying to give it as much space as it needs, and trying to understand, what is coming out, why am I feeling like I'm feeling, without applying any force. And I know if I can manage that, usually the answer, pops up. And then I know, it was because of this. And it's bringing me to a topic I was playing with in my head, is about like emotional wounds. I was in one of those videos talking about that we hold, keys to each other, and that's kind of these keys, they lead to these pains and traumas and emotional wounds. Or you can say, we are mirrors, we can reflect each other pain. And one thing I realized regarding this is that I've seen a lot of those, through my life, but I didn't know what to do with it. And what I was taught, or what I kind of observed in the other people, is like when somebody, is activating something in me, some like touching on some wound, I went very often to the defensive but like aggressive mode, where I was, trying to not look at what they are pointing, or what door they opened. So I was protecting, the behavior. I was protecting and replaying this defensive mechanism, instead of looking of where is that pointing. But I understand why I also wasn't doing it, because the environment, or the people which were activating this in me, were not capable to support me in that. It's kind of like when you can look at in a real world, when you cut yourself, or when you break a leg or something, there can be very different type of people around with very different reaction. First, when something like this happened to you, it's a shock for you. It's very painful experience. So when you have a wound, and here we are talking about a wound which you have or carry from very likely childhood, and it's just at the background, and it's so well protected through these defensive mechanisms, but it's not being healed. It's just there. It's like a constant broken leg, which you created this structure around it so it can do its job, but inside it's still broken. So when this is being touched, or somebody is kind of pointing that, hey, kind of like, you've got a broken leg, but they are not even aware that you've got a broken leg. They are saying what they're saying, and that's what's that's what reminding you, oh, I've got a broken leg, but I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look, I'm not gonna look, because I can't look. I don't know, if I look, I'll feel terrible. If I look, the world will reject me. If I look, people won't like me, because that's how we created these fractures. So if we want to look, we need to have people around us which will be like, oh, hey, there is like, are you okay? You got, say something, why are you acting like this? Do you need help? Like in a compassionate way, not being told like, hey, you got a broken leg, like what's wrong with you? That doesn't really help. So I don't know if this makes sense. I hope it does. I think it does for me as I'm saying it. It's a complicated topic, and I'm being distracted by this beautiful view behind me. But basically, like doing any of this inner healing work, it's really important to have this supportive environment, and it's up to us and our responsibility to do it as adults, because we have the power to remove ourselves from people which are not helping in those situations. We have the power to contact people which can help us in those situations, or we can stay alone and do the healing, with our own support. So I think I'm gonna leave it here, even though there is tons what I could carry on, but I feel I'm also a little bit lost in it. But that's what this 4 train is about, to just say what's coming out and see where it's gonna lead. So it led me right here. I'm just gonna carry on and enjoy this view with whatever emotions I feel, and I'll try to be okay with it. So you have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, whatever time and place you are at, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening, and bye.